Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here, the founder and CEO of NightDragon, and we're coming to you live from Black Hat in Las Vegas, along with about 30,000 of our friends who come every year to the desert in August. So I always stop August, desert, Las Vegas. But what a wonderful venue we have here at Black Hat, and thousands of vendors and a lot happening. I have a special guest today that I'm super excited to chat with, Sean Cairncross, our National Cyber Director, in the role now for about 11 years, it probably feels like.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But congratulations on your role and everything that you've been doing, Sean. And thank you for coming out to Black Hat. You're speaking in a little bit as well. We're just so excited to have you and impressed with everything that you're doing. Maybe tell everybody just for a minute, because I know all the strategic imperatives and things, but just give a little bit of color of what you're trying to focus on strategically for the nation.
Sure. Well, first, Dave, it's great to be out here at Black Hat, and thank you and all the great work the NightDragon
Did you have
does.
to wear a tie?
No, this is
Standard apparel.
I fly in this, so yeah. Look, we've been, since I came into place in the administration, we've been pushing hard to make our strategic priorities abundantly clear. Man, the first one, when we pushed out a national strategy in March, was to shape adversary behavior.
My favorite.
And that is sort of the umbrella that this all comes under. And part of the reason that we saw that as being important is not only does there need to be a consequence in this space, and this space needs to be regarded as its own strategic domain, which hadn't happened in the past. It's sort of a grown up adjacent to all these other domains, is the moment we're in with artificial intelligence. And as we see the technology start to evolve that makes adversaries and people who don't do positive things with this tech be able to scale and become more sophisticated. And so that creates an attack space that is very difficult to defend. There are just too many holes in the dam, so to speak. And so there needs to be some level of, it's a complicated subject in this space, but there needs to be deterrence.
Right.
There's still a human being making these decisions, and we've got to make sure that they're paying attention.
What an era it's been, at least for me. I mean, this is my third decade in cyber. I hate to hate myself, but you know, it's amazing to watch what 2026 has just had, because suddenly these frontier models come out. Suddenly we start to see this acceleration of vulnerability research. Suddenly we see this incredible scenario starting to unfold, which was exciting as well, because we could secure our software maybe better and we could find vulnerabilities quicker. But then we started to realize, well, the bad guys can get exploits built quicker.
Yeah.
And in just 6 months, we've watched almost an exponential change in the cyber and AI domain, which is exciting, but scary at the same time.
What's really nice and exciting about this is all of these conversations have been spurred on by a leap in technical innovation that's been American. It's American made. It can't happen anywhere else. It's an incredible story. It's going to have an enormous benefit on society. To your point, it's going to enable us to defend and give us cyber capabilities that we have never had before. I just happen to sit in a job whose purpose is to be focused on the security side of things. And so we have to take that and say, okay, if this is used in a way that's not intended, if it's used by bad actors, how can we guard against that? The collaboration that we have had at the president's direction with the private sector is really the way that we are going to get through this moment and get to a space where our critical infrastructure is protected, our national security systems are protected. The companies that you are dealing with, the folks who are out here at Black Hat today, are the ones who are creating and innovating and allowing us to move at speed. And so what we're trying to do is balance that run at speed as fast as possible, get this technology into the hands of defenders as quickly as we can, while also balancing the security, our security equities against that.
For the first time, at least in my whole career, we were always defenders on the private sector side, right? I ran McAfee, FireEye, Mandiant.
Sure.
We were always about defending. Now we have this technology that we can invest and grow and build that can dual use. It can be offensive, it can be defensive. And it's a mind shift change for a lot of us here in the cyber circle, because we have these very powerful kind of weapons that are being created. How do you think about public-private partnership in this era a little bit more?
Sure. The first thing I'd say is public-private partnership gets thrown around a lot. And so what I see it as a real collaboration. There has to be skin in the game on both sides of this. And so to your point, the first thing is there needs to be information sharing at speed and at scale. You have, and the private sector has insights to eliminate this battle space in a way that we don't, and vice versa. And so there is a lot of effort that's going into the works there. CISA 2015, which is the information sharing law that provides liability and antitrust protection, that is going to expire at the end of September if Congress doesn't act. I believe that Congress will act on this, but it is important and it undergirds everything that we are trying to do in this space.
And you believe we need that?
It is absolutely essential to the success of our national cybersecurity effort, 100%. And like I say, I believe that Congress will do the right thing. And then we are looking for ways to lighten up the regulatory burden as well. So CERCIA, the rule on cyber incident disclosure, is something that has been, was overly burdensome on industry. It was setting up a lot of redundant reporting systems. We are moving to pare that back. We are moving at speed to get that out the door, and look forward to doing it. But that is the sort of, we want to create the regulatory environment for industry, that innovation runs full speed. We want to make sure the communications between government and industry are working as efficiently as possible. Form should follow function. And if the function is to make systems as secure as possible, the form should tail behind that.
We love it. I mean, innovation and regulation are things that have to be integrated a little bit. And I think all the vendors want that, Sean. We all want to rally around the messages that you have, and we want to create a better place and a safer place.
Well, look, I mean, Dave, so on the strategy, there have been 4 executive orders that have come into place already, right? So, and that was only since March, and the president signed a cybercrime executive order. That cybercrime executive order talks about involving the private sector and working together. The president signed the AI Innovation and Security Executive Order, and then 2 on accelerating quantum and moving to post-quantum computing standards at speed. All of that is embracing the private sector and the American innovators. All of them will fail without that partnership.
Last question for you. What are you most excited about in 2026 technologically, and what are you most kind of nervous about? What keeps you up at night?
The thing that makes me the most excited is the speed at which this space is moving. The red teaming and the blue teaming and pairing that with AI to defend is something that there hasn't been a huge incentive for before in the past. And now the incentive exists for those defense at speed, at machine speed, for those products to come online. I think we're going to see a lot of work in that over the next year. I'm very excited for that. And the United States continuing to lead the world in this is the single biggest thing that makes me excited about this, setting the standard for the world to follow and demonstrating how to work collaboratively with the private sector rather than some regulatory regime or stepping on innovation and just the usual bureaucratic CYA that government's great at, but it kills innovation. You know, what keeps me up at night is what you'd expect. It's keeping on top of these bad actors, trying to stay ahead of them, trying to keep them on their heels for a change, and introduce the concept of a real consequence in this domain.
On the private sector side, we've been so proud to have seen what Epic Fury and Absolute Resolve could do, where cyber gets integrated to the warfighter across multiple domains, and just making cyber not an isolated domain.
Yep. I mean, Chairman Kaine has been extremely forward-leaning on this, very clear on the importance that cyber plays in integrated operations, leads them all the way through. And none of this could be done. I mean, any organization reflects its leadership, and the president has set the tone on this, taken the brakes off of innovators, is working collaboratively with the private sector to help balance security. These are conversations and collaboration that I don't think has been possible with government and the private sector before. It's been great engagement, and we look forward to more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Cairncross, our National Cyber Director, thank you so much for all the service you do. Appreciate you coming to Black Hat.
Got it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.